Hello lovely humans of Book Break! I'm Elizabeth, and over on my channel Books and Pieces I talk about science fiction and fantasy books. And today I'm partnering with Macmillan to celebrate the release of the His Dark Materials TV show. I've been a fan of the His Dark Materials series of books since they started coming out, and I'm so excited to see them come alive on screen. But today I'm here to talk about books, and more specifically to recommend you some more things that you can read if you also love this fantastic series. So whether you want more brave young women tackling big adventures, more complex questions about gods and power, or more parallel universes and magical mysteries, we've got something for you. Now, like I said, I first read His Dark Materials when I was a little kid, and I know it was probably right at the top of my reading level at the time. So I wanted to offer something for younger readers who are maybe just about ready to tackle His Dark Materials, or who you are starting to introduce into the amazing world of fantasy adventures. And for that, I offer you Shadows of Winterspell by Amy Wilson. Like His Dark Materials, we start with a young girl whose parents are not present. Stella has lived with her grandmother all her life in a little cottage hidden by spells on the edge of the magical forest, for she is the secret daughter of the Shadow King of the Fae who brought darkness to the woods. But Stella is lonely and decides to enroll in the local school so she has people to talk to. There she discovers the power of friendship, but must also face up to her dark family secrets in order to save those around her. It's a wonderful story about the power of friendship, about being different, about finding yourself, about being brave, and all set within this magical, creepy fairy tale framework that works perfectly. Next up, one of the big themes in His Dark Materials is that of death and the afterlife. And my next recommendation is for the Old Kingdom series by Garth Nix, which picks up this theme perfectly. In the first book, Sabriel, we follow a young woman who is at a boarding school when a strange undead monster appears in her dorm room. Luckily, Sabriel is the daughter of the current Abhorsen, a necromancer whose duty it is to lay the undead to rest. Unfortunately for Sabriel, the creature carries a message from her father. He has passed beyond the seventh and final gate of death, and now she must take up the mantle of Abhorsen, kill the evil necromancer who murdered her father, and who is now wreaking havoc across the Old Kingdom. Like His Dark Materials, the Old Kingdom books are a YA series that doesn't shy away from tackling a dark and difficult subject, and takes you on a magnificent journey whilst doing so. Next up, we have this gorgeous duo of books, Sorcerer to the Crown and The True Queen by Zen Cho. These are fantasy books set in a Regency England where magic abounds, but where women are forbidden from practicing it. Enter Prunella Gentlewoman, a young lady whose magical powers refuse to stay hidden and who doesn't understand why she shouldn't use them. She ends up in contact with the new Sorcerer Royal, who is scandalously unpopular because he is not an old white man, as has always happened before. Their meeting may just end up changing the face of magic forever. The True Queen continues and deepens our immersion in this magical world. They are light and fun Regency romps that will make you laugh whilst also still having loads of room for exploration of deep issues like colonialism and power structures and the struggle to get out of them. Or how about some more amazing parallel world shenanigans in Genevieve Cogman's Invisible Library series? These are, as a series, much lighter than His Dark Materials, but I know that when I first read about that ability to cut through into other worlds, I just wanted more of it. And damn, this series delivers that, and there's a whole beautiful bunch of them, which is perfect. The series starts with a librarian called Irene who works in a library, or should I say, the library. This is a magical library that exists between all of the alternate worlds, and librarians have a mission to go to the various alternates and look for unusual or unique books and to bring them back to the library so that they can be preserved. There's a lot going on in all of these worlds, plus loads of stuff about books and libraries. I mean, come for the books, stay for the adventures. Next, I want to recommend you to the legend that is Frances Hardinge. Like Philip Pullman, she has won the very prestigious Costa Book of the Year award, and her writing does in some ways remind me of Pullman's. They are serious and dark and complex and full of big, difficult ideas, but that are so beautifully written that you're just swept away on this amazing story. The Lie Tree, which was the book that won her the Costa Book of the Year, was my introduction to her work, and it features a young girl whose love of science is oppressed by the strictures of Victorian society. One day she finds the journals of her disgraced scientist father, and she discovers this idea of a magical tree that when it's told lies, it reveals a truth of equal size, and this leads her down a strange and dark path. But excitingly, Harding has a brand new book out called Deep Light. This is apparently the story of a young man who is determined to save his friend no matter what, even if it means a journey into the strange dark light of the undersea with its old and murderous gods. There he must face not only who, but what his friend has become. I'm super excited for this one. It couldn't sound more perfect for some His Dark Materials type literary feels in between episodes. Next, I want to recommend N.K. Jemison's Inheritance trilogy, starting with The 100,000 Kingdoms. In this, we follow a young woman called Yaini who has been outcast from her family for years, but then one day she is summoned back and, to her shock, declared the heir to the kingdom. But the throne is not easily won, and Yaini is thrust into a vicious power struggle, made all the more dark and dangerous by the revelation that her family's power over the world comes from the enslavement of gods. This one reminds me of His Dark Materials because of this idea of a young woman forced to come face to face with what her family really is, of what they've been doing, of all these power structures and the huge oppressive systems that they have been upholding, and how you can face that, because that's exactly what Lyra is doing when she learns about who her parents are and what they've been doing. If you like those ideas, you're definitely going to love this one, but be warned, this one contains some romantic adult scenes. It is not for kids. Another very grown-up recommendation is for the Magician's trilogy by Lev Grossman. In this, we follow a young 20-something man called Quentin who discovers one day that magic is real because he is invited to attend a magical university. He then goes on to find out that magical parallel worlds are also a thing, and that all his childhood favourite stories are very real, and that living in them really not as nice as he'd imagined when he was a kid. Like His Dark Materials, this series tackles the big, complex, dark, gritty stuff about growing up and facing up to these big, nasty, complex systems of belief and power and oppression and what they mean and how you're going to face that. However, unlike His Dark Materials, you will not come out of this loving the characters. You will come out of it hating them. They are awful people and awful things happen in these books, but they are magnificent nonetheless. After all that darkness, I do want to finish with a little bit of light and hope and love as answers to it, just like His Dark Materials does. And for this, I offer you Witchmark by C.L. Polk. This is a beautiful kind of Edwardian-style England, but with magic, and we follow the adventures of a young doctor who is hiding the fact that he has magical powers because of the awful societal manipulations that go around having it. In this world, having magic is considered to be a kind of deviant madness that will get you locked into an asylum, except that all of the upper classes secretly have magic, but even then only those with specific types of powers are allowed to cultivate it. All those who have magic but not the right kind of power are kept as kind of familiars or even just batteries for their more privileged partners to use against their will. This darkly occult social manipulation and power struggle in ways reminded me of Mrs. Coulter and her deeds in the Arctic, and also that kind of Edwardian English setting is very reminiscent of Lyra's Oxford, but it's not all awfulness, I promise you. This whole thing is wrapped in a blanket of light with a huge side order of queer romance and a fight against the system. Hell yes. So there you go, lovely humans of Book Break. 8 fantastic ideas of more stuff to read if you love His Dark Materials. I hope you enjoy them as much as I have. Thanks for watching and happy reading.